loosen up the worm clamp right here. You can use a straight blade screwdriver or an 8mm socket. And slide this off. Down below, where the throttle body is, there's another worm clamp. You want to loosen that one up as well. You could do the same thing, 8mm socket or straight blade screwdriver. That should be good. Right here, there's a hose that needs to be disconnected. You can take this hose clamp off or this one. It does not really matter. Just use some hose clamp pliers. Slide it off. You can use some hose pliers, just wiggle it off. This one's already cracked, so be careful of that. And slide it right up and out of the way. Disconnect the throttle body. There's a connector right here. Just slide that tab back and push down. And you can slide the connector off, out of the way. Using a 10mm socket, take all these bolts out. And slide the throttle body off. So we don't get any debris down into the intake, I'm just going to put a rag. Just want to stuff that in there. That'll just prevent anything from going in there. Just remember to take it out afterwards. Disconnect the connector right here. Slide it up and slide it out. Now you want to peel back some of the tape that's around the wiring for the map sensor. If you have to, you can use a razor or a case cutter. Just using a pick. Now you can take the new connector up next to the old one, and you could cut these wires so that they're the same lengths, but I'm gonna add a little bit of length to it. It's not gonna matter if this is a little bit longer. And we're gonna do these one at a time because on the new connector, they're all white wires, so you don't wanna mix them up. So we're gonna try to stagger these. And what I mean by that is we wanna cut one of these wires right here and right here, and then the next one we're gonna move up and then even further up. So you'll see as it goes. So we'll start with one at a time. That's about where I want it. So we'll take this gray wire and this white wire. We can cut them at the same time. Right there. And those two are gonna go together. Use some wire strippers and strip the wire so that you have some copper showing. We're going to do the same on this side. A little bit more. That looks good right there. Now we're going to use these style butt connectors. I'm just twisting the wires. And what you do is take the wire, it's going to go through the connector. Make sure the copper's in the middle there. And then we're going to crush this down. Just like that. Make sure you crush it good and tight. You can take it and just give it a wiggle, make sure it's not loose. And we're going to do the same on this side. Just like that. And same, crush it down. and give it a wiggle. Make sure it's tight. That's good. You don't want to yank on it, but just give it a wiggle and it's tight. That's good. Now we're going to do the same with the other ones. This one I'm going to go a little further up. So we'll go and match this up. So that was the first wire, the gray one. The next one is the green wire. So we got the middle one for the green wire. Go right here. As you can see, all the connectors are somewhat staggered. It would have been nice if I could stagger them more, but this is as far as they can go. Now these connectors are shrink wrap connectors, so you want to take a heat gun and heat these up and try to shrink those down. That's going to shrink that down right up to the insulation of the wires so that no debris or elements will get in there to corrode them. So you want to do that now. All right, so those look good. Everything's shrunken up. One thing you want to be aware of if you're using a heat gun, of anything in the area, you don't want to melt anything else other than just trying to get those to shrink down. So I'm going to let those cool down. These have cooled down. Now I'm going to take some electrical tape and just go as far back as possible and just tape these up. Just make it nice and tight. Just wrap it around. Do a little extra on the end. Then slice it. That looks good. Now take the connector, line it up, and plug it in. Now take the rag out, make sure nothing falls down in there. That looks pretty good. It's a good idea to replace this gasket. Although it's raised up, it's not crushed at all. I'm just going to reuse it in this situation, but it's always recommended you replace that throttle body gasket. Slide the throttle body in place. Get the bolts started. Just going to snug them down first. And we'll torque these to 89 inch-pounds. Take the connector, line it up, lock it down, then push down on the lock. Now slide this in position. Make sure you line the hose up top, and then slide this over the throttle body and over the air box. Now I'll just move the clamp over, slide that in position, and tighten this worm clamp down. Make sure it's snug, and then do the same on this one. and snug it down.